Hey everyone, welcome back to One Piece versus 4K podcast. I'm Ben,
I'm Rom.
and this is a podcast where we compare the One Piece 4 Kids anime to the Funimation dub, sometimes sub, and throw in comparisons to the manga. We're back today for episode 26 from my end. It's going to be episode 27 from Rom's end. But before we get into that, what's going on with the One Piece world and what's going on with your life?
Yeah, so I mean, as far as like the One Piece world, we did have like a new chapter that was released this past weekend, um, and it kind of like ended on like this. I mean, as far as like the anime was concerned, the anime was on a buy, so there was no anime this week. But the manga, it kind of like ended on like this weird thing where like this character we thought was like gone, like he just like appeared. So um yeah, so it kind of like ended on like a weird note, but I think this was a very I don't know if it's like an emotional chapter. It's like I don't know how to describe this. I know like in the Attack on Titan community, they would call these like parallels or something between some of the characters and stuff. So this week was definitely filled with a lot of parallels. We did learn like a key insight into um okay, so this happens again, this happens like way past whatever Four Kids does. So in One Piece, one of the characters, like they find a way to kind of explain how devil fruits works is that like as everybody already knows, with devil fruits it's like you when you find the fruit and you eat it, it tastes awful and you lose the ability to swim, but you do gain like this ability to do something else. Luffy is like a rubber boy, so he like does that. And Buggy is obviously this like chop guy who can like if you cut his body with a knife, it just like splits apart, but like he can reattach it and stuff. And one thing that happens way past what Four Kids covers is like one of the characters has this way where he's able to take a devil fruit user's ability, and then I don't know. Basically, I'm not sure if it's one of those things where they're able to take it after he dies. But basically, how the devil fruit is that like the when the devil fruit user dies, their devil fruit ability then passes on back to some other fruit, and that fruit just transforms into a devil fruit. That's how it happens. And that's always how like people would get devil fruit ability. They would only be able to get it via eating a devil fruit. And um and so yeah, this one group, like this one guy, he then does this big show where he takes the devil fruit user's ability after, like, as he's dying. And people in his crew also have the also gain abilities, gain devil fruit abilities using that procedure. And that was always kind of a mystery, and like this past chapter, it kind of, I felt it gave one part into how that is achievable. Like I think it kind of gave a little insight on like, okay, this is probably one of the parts that this guy did to gain that devil fruit ability from like another person. So that's not the focus of this chapter. This focus was on something else, but it was just one of those details that like I'm like, oh, this was like a nice little insight that like they gave. So yeah, that was like a huge key thing that I kind of picked up. And as far as like other animes, like Attack on Titan, unfortunately, they had to cancel this week. It was the next episode was scheduled to be airing this week, but unfortunately, while the episode was airing in Japan, there was apparently like a huge earthquake that happened. So, and I think it was, I don't know if it was, I think it was happening as the show was going on. So they had to like stop the showing because of the earthquake. And so they had to cancel it this week for the American audiences and stuff. And but like I think like the first 19 minutes of the show is like online somewhere and with like translations and stuff. Um,
Dude,
so
they're so stupid. Like seriously, they finished the like. What are they? I don't know why they're so set in their way. I'm sorry, like maybe I'm gonna go on a rant or whatever, but like they had to have known that's gonna happen. That someone have recorded the first part before the earthquake or whatever. Like, why not just release it? Why not just send it to the people that are translating the episode in America? I mean, because what happened is someone translate. They literally just caused their own thing to be leaked. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, like, the episode's gonna be released,
Yeah.
anyways, and like, I mean, it's not like fan translations. I think it's like an actual translation or something.
No, it has to be a fans translate. Like how if they didn't put out the whole episode?
Yeah, true. I guess I can see what you're saying. It's kind of weird. I guess it's kind of like how like the manga, like because the manga is released worldwide on the same time, like they send like these scans to
Hmm.
all the different places, and that's kind of how like spoilers get released like way ahead, like a couple of days before the official release and stuff. And so I guess this is like the
I
anime
mean,
version of
I
that.
guess I could see them doing it because then they don't want the Japanese audience to then seek out the American version because it's been completed before the Japanese one. But
Yeah,
uh, I guess that makes sense. But it's just ridiculous.
yeah. I'd like I do think that they're all released like relatively around the same day, like on like for instance like
Hmm.
I think so. I don't think they're released on like Wednesday and then then the official like translations, maybe like the Japanese version, the original version gets released on a Wednesday and then like the official translations, I don't know if that's the thing. I do feel like they put out the translated versions along with the same time as the official version on the Shonen Jump app or the Viz
Yeah.
app. Because I mean, like I like so when the chapters get released, it always gets released on Sunday, 11 a.m. Eastern time because mainly because of daylight savings. Like
But I'm really surprised that they just didn't. If the episode was completed, I'm really surprised that they just didn't air it after the earthquake or at another time period. They could have shifted show. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's not as popular in Japan as it is here.
no.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. No,
I,
I think
I'm
I think their priorities just got shifted. Maybe
yeah.
where the headquarters was in that region, maybe they got affected too. I'm not really sure on the details on that. So Mappa is obviously the animation company that does Attack on Titan. So it's possible like they had to shift operations or maybe the earthquake struck where they're located. But I think the other thing was that like right after the earthquake hit, there was also like tsunami warnings and stuff, just
Mm,
because of that. So yeah, I do think like there's like multiple factors that led into why the episode had to be canceled this week and had to be released at a later time. I'm not sure if they're gonna release it sometime this week so that like you have your regularly scheduled new episode on Sunday. So that's something I'm kind of curious about. One thing I am a little confused about though is like so I think it's like episode 12 or 13 that's about to be released for this season, and like this season is supposed to be 16 episodes, and Crunchyroll like they're putting out like little things on their official Twitter talking about how like the final episode of Attack on Titan is coming up in like a couple of weeks and stuff, just because they said this is the final season and stuff, and like I'm I'm caught up on the manga and there is still so much they have to show. Like there is no way they can cover all of this unless like the episodes are like Game of Thrones and it goes to like 2 hours or something. There is no way it's going to finish in like the next 3 episodes. If they do, I I would have to like look at how they present it in order to be satisfied because like there's so much more like that happens. Like there is like an insane amount of things that happens between where they are now in the anime and like all the stuff that the manga has covered. So and like yeah, yeah. So I would be shocked, and like that's kind of the thing that was kind of confusing me because they would have to do like a part two because this is something that like Attack on Titan has done before, like where they would do like like I think they did it with season one. They did a season one part one, season one part two. Season two was just one 12 episode batch, but season three was part one and part two. So I feel like they have to do a part two for season four because like no way can
Yeah.
they end it in like three episodes. But we'll see, we'll see. Especially since like I think if they are planning on like completing it within the next three episodes, they're completing it before the next official chapter release, the final chapter releases, you know?
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, so I don't know, maybe they'll do 2 hour long episodes for the last three episodes for all I know.
Are they gonna? Well, they did put out live action. Maybe they should do a live action movie adaptation and have George R. R. Martin change the ending.
Dude, man, when I started to watch some of the live action, like the animes that were adapted to live action movies,
Some of them are
like
so bad.
it's
Actually, I
just
don't know if any of them are good.
yeah, I just it's just like they try to emulate the anime character, like, and it's weird, like it just doesn't fit, you know.
You,
Like
sh-
the
you should watch Dragon Ball Evolution.
I mean I haven't watched any
Yeah,
Dragon
that's
Ball
why you
Z.
should just watch Dragon Ball Evolution. Never watch anything else related to Dragon Ball Z. Just watch your Dragon Ball Evolution.
Sure.
It's a
um
bizarre movie.
yeah, like I don't know how, like, so I've never watched the live action Dragon Ball like, you know, Western adaptation live action movie that I think they had some like
Yeah,
American
that's what I
actors.
was talking about.
Okay. But like the like you know the live action Japanese movies that they make that's like live action adaptation of anime, it's just so weird. Like the I don't know, man. Like it's like, you know, certain anime characters like they're like I guess they're supposed to be like cool, I guess, like where they um it's just not human like, you know, like um
Yeah, you
like
can't make some of them in live action without CGI, and if you do CGI, it's gonna be too cheesy.
I mean, it's not just like it's not well, I mean, yeah, that's like a whole other thing. I'm talking about like straight up dialogue of
Oh,
certain characters.
yeah.
Like certain characters like they just say a few words and then like they just do that and like you just and if it's like a character that occasionally appears and kind of does that, you can say something. But like when they make one of the main characters like that, it's just so weird when they try to do the live action, especially like the ditzy girl too, like who's also like the main character who's like this like you know
hmm
certain animes like they're like girls who are just like for whatever reason like they're just like super like you know um so um I don't know how to I guess valley girls, I don't know, is that what they call them,
I
like
guess, yeah.
yeah, and like it's like it's just it's weird watching that in live action. I'm like, even like the most like you
Y-
know
yeah, you can. It's not as weird in a cartoon when you like are stereotyping something or having something to like an extreme or whatever. But when you're doing it
yeah
in person, you're like, it's even more unbelievable. Like you can
yeah
suspend your belief more
yeah
when it's a cartoon. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
yeah and
Even with dialogue, some of the things you can say, it's like, oh yeah, it sounds cool when it's a cartoon, but if it's an actual person saying it, it's hard to. You're just like, dude, shut up.
yeah, it's just yeah when they try to emulate like the dialogue, it's just I don't know, sometimes like the dialogue is so weird, and then
hmm
like you know like I knew some people who were like really into like anime in like high school and stuff, and like you know I mainly started watching it in like college, and like when I saw one of the live action movies and like the dialogue that they were using, the actions they were using, I'm like, okay, I kind of get how this person was. I didn't quite like. It just kind of felt weird, like talking with this person. Like it's not like weird as in like bad weird. It just like it felt a little off. But now it's like okay, now it makes sense why they talked a certain way or acted a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean that's kind of the thing with me and live action movies. Because even the Attack on Titan live action one, it just felt weird.
I didn't watch it.
I watched clips here and there, and then I tried to watch. Yeah, it's just it's a weird thing, man. It's like in anime, like when you see characters kind of run up like a grassy hill, it's like one thing, but then to actually see like live action people do that, it feels weird, especially like
Yeah.
live action adults.
Yeah. We need to finish watching Cowboy Bebop, or at least with Laura. I've seen it, the whole thing, but I want Laura to finish watching it because I know she's going to want to watch the live action Netflix adaptation that apparently just finished filming. And I can't have that be her first way to experience that show.
Yeah. That's the thing. I don't know what's going on with the One Piece live action though, but yeah, the only Cowboy Bebop actor that I know is John Cho, um, who's in Cowboy Bebop, the live action one. So I'm looking forward to that. I mean, like Netflix, I think they're really going all in on like these live action things, and like I'm hoping that like they get it correct, but we'll see.
I don't think they will. The I mean, I only watched part of Death Note, but I didn't watch the live action, but I heard the live action one was absolute dog shit.
Was Netflix the one making?
Yes, they did
Oh
the live action uh I just forgot the name of the show that I just said.
yeah, I mean,
Death Note.
even
They did the live action Death Note like they're doing the live action but I think that was like a movie. I think this is going to be a series, so it might be better. Who knows?
yeah, we'll see.
Honestly, I think the one instance where I think it's I think it's better if they just if they change it entirely, like read like they reimagine it in like a different context. Like I might get people pissed off at me for saying this, but I really did like the Ghost in the Shell movie that they put out here. Like it was really Americanized or whatever, but like I feel like that's better than just trying to emulate what the original movie is because it's never gonna be as good as that. You might as well just make an adaptation of it and make it completely different.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's just with humans, like it's like there's a different dynamic with animated characters than there are like humans.
Yeah,
Like, and even in terms of like facial features and facial expressions and stuff.
yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, so I mean, yeah. So I'm just like every day, what I do is I just constantly like check on my like I just check on my Google Assistant app to see how many days it is until April 9th, which is when the final chapter is about to be released. I think it's like 20, I don't know, now it's like maybe like 23 days or 24 days or something. I think a few days back, maybe it was yesterday I saw it was like 25 days. So it's like, ah, man. But I, I don't know what to expect, honestly. So we'll see. Maybe it'll end on like a really huge high, and I'm like, but or you know, it can go any different ways.
They should change the ending in the anime versus the manga.
Oh, like they did with Full Metal Alchemist.
I mean, I just think they should do it. That way you can satisfy if one person is pissed off at the ending in the manga, they can just watch the anime and vice
Yeah.
versa.
So do you know like what happened with Full Metal Alchemist, right?
No, I don't. I haven't even seen anything related to that show, so
Yeah. So I
I
mean,
do want to watch different versions of it,
yeah.
right?
So there's Full Metal Alchemist, and then there's Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. The
Yeah,
Full
I
Metal
heard.
Al, yeah. Well, because like the first one, it ended before production company. They went their own way with the ending. Um,
I got it.
but brother,
Yeah,
so completely like one to one with the manga. So that's more accurate, and that's probably why it's like people felt it was better. Um, yeah, because like the one that finished, the anime that finished before the manga finished, they ended up taking real world universe route, and then like Brotherhood, it everything kept within this universe kind of thing.
But I'm sure there's
So
people
I
that
highly
I'm sure there's people that like the original
yeah,
over
I wouldn't be
Brotherhood.
surprised.
Yeah.
But I think like each one that I watched, there's this one arc that's like really sad. And I and when I watched it, Brotherhood, I think we can handle it a little better in
Hmm.
Brotherhood. But I mean, it's still a really sad arc. But yeah, but supposedly, I'm not sure if it has happened, but supposedly, like the ending for Attack on Titan has been changed. Actually, certain events in the series has actually been changed quite a bit, just because I think so. Apparently, one of the original ideas that he had for the finale of Attack on Titan was that basically everybody dies, like I guess like a apocalyptic event, everybody dies and stuff. And so this was back when he first started the series, and he said that like when he saw that like the series became like a huge success, like a worldwide successful show and stuff, and it became really popular, he said he had to change the ending because it would be such a like depressing ending, and
Yeah.
like he was so worried about like the fans in that aspect that like he just couldn't like put out such a like depressing ending so as to like kill off everyone at the very end. So that was one thing that they are that he apparently changed. But this was like I think he made this change before he released the final panel of the manga, because he actually released the final panel of the manga like many years ago. Not many years ago, but like 2018, I think. He actually put out a thing saying that this is the final panel of the series, and
Well, that's interesting.
yeah, so but like there were things that they kind of had to that they did change along the way, like so. And this is something that happened in season 2 of the anime, in the manga. So in season 2 of Attack on Titan, there was this character Sasha, and she
Oh my God,
like
spoilers, man! I haven't even gotten there.
d- like do you want me to not say it?
No, I need to finish watching this show
I mean, what
eventually.
season are you on?
I only finished season 1.
Oh, okay, so I guess you I- it doesn't happen. Like what I'm about to tell you isn't what happens. Like this was one of the instances where they change it. I don't really consider this a huge spoiler.
Okay.
So like I honestly don't think this is a spoiler when I say this. So there was this one scene with Sasha in season 2 where she takes on a Titan. Um Basically I don't know, like I think she tries to use a hacksaw. It doesn't work, and then she just takes the bow and arrow and stuff, and then she then while they're running away, she then takes the arrow and stabs the Titan on the eye, and then she runs away and stuff. So that's what happens in the anime. But there was apparently and this doesn't happen because this is something that was apparently altered. I don't know how true this is, but the rumor is, or the myth is, that the original idea that the author Isayama Hajime had, or I don't know if it's Hajime Isayama, I don't really know. The original thing that he intended was that when she went against this Titan, apparently she was supposed to get like, I don't know if it's like as the girl that she was trying to rescue, as she was kind of running away, apparently Sasha was supposed to like um die at that scene, because like the Titan would like kind of rip her from her head, from her eyes or something, and like rip off her head, and it was like this very kind of like graphic end to her. And apparently when they finished it, apparently one of the assistants who was working with Isayama at the time came to him and begged him and cried and begged him to kind of change the scene because it was just so bad. So they kind of scrapped her death at that time. So
Oh man, dude, you just spoiled it, man. Now I know that she's gonna die.
well, I mean, like, no, he doesn't. Like, I can't
Okay, let's
I
just
can't
leave it
say
at
I
that.
can't say what's gonna happen to her, or what she does later on because it's gonna spoil it. I mean, like, if I say, "Oh no, no, she's actually," it's like I can't say it because it
I
would give
know, I
away
know,
the
I
way.
know. Just don't say anything else. I shouldn't have
Yeah.
said anything.
So, um, so yeah, basically she doesn't die there. So basically, that's basically one of the alterations that they did was that originally she was supposed to die, and then now she doesn't die.
Got it.
Yeah, so apparently, like, I don't know if he did that often or if that was just a one-off incident where like, oh, this is so brutal or something. Um, so yeah, yeah, dude. But yeah, like, yeah, that's all I'll say because it's like, if I say anything else, like, it would be like, I don't,
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, I guess we better just get into the episode now.
yeah, okay.
Um yeah, so this episode from my end was called Here We Go Again. Uh really stupid pun. Um they literally separated A and then they spelled out Ghin, Ghin.
Okay. That's good.
Yeah.
Um,
So the episode opens
or should I
with the
just say my title?
yeah, go ahead.
It's cool-headed, cool-hearted demon. It's cool-headed, cool-hearted demon with an exclamation point. Pirate fleet chief commander Ghin.
Got it.
Yep.
So the episode opens with the ship breaking apart as Luffy is seen. Krieg is pissed that Luffy is destroying the ship and tells Gin to destroy Zeph and to crush his bones. Gin says he can't because he cooked for all their men and saved their lives. Krieg is saying just do it, as Luffy says I wouldn't do that. Luffy then says he already broke off the fin, and if he has to, he'll sink the entire ship. Luffy and Sanji begin to argue about sinking the ship. Luffy says if he sinks it, they will have nothing to fight over, where Sanji says he can't as he has a debt to pay. Luffy then asks, would he really give up his life for a restaurant, and that saying it's pathetic. He tells him that Zeph saved his life for a reason, and if he gives it up now, it'll be for no reason. And that is stupid as Luffy is. I guess that was kind of a like profound moment for something for him to realize, I guess. But it's just shrugged off. And then Pearl says then all of a sudden Pearl comes up and says to stop the fighting as they have so many enemies to fight. He runs in and begins an attack, some kind of like fire attack, to which says he's going to send them to a fiery grave. And as he's about to attack them, Gin drops his gun and then runs and slams into the center of Pearl's armor with these like baton looking things with huge metal balls at the end of them. And Pearl starts screaming, and Gin says he's sorry, but he was in the way. So that's what I have so far. How much of it is different?
I mean, like, the dialogue is pretty much kind of similar. I think, like, in the manga and the anime, they kind of talk about how, like, in the manga they said how about how, like, Zeph, like, ate his own foot and stuff, and like,
Hmm.
in the anime they're like, hey, Zeph sacrificed his life, and Luffy says that thing. It's like, what's the point of him? He like saved Sanji's life so that Sanji can go like live like a worthy life or something. So similar to like what Luffy said in the Four Kids. So yeah, I mean, a lot of it was very similar. Yeah.
Okay. Um, so then Krieg asks Gin if he's going to betray him too. Gin says he's not going to let Pearl kill the man that saved him. Gin says he'll destroy Zeph with his own hand if he must. Krieg says he needs to start acting like a general battle commander of his fleet. The other pirates are shocked at that he's actually the battle commander, as Luffy reveals that was his plan all along to make him reveal his true identity. Sanji calls bullshit. Gin says that he doesn't want to have to hurt Sanji too, and that Sanji should leave. Luffy says all of Krieg's crew are weak. Krieg says he'll take care of the Straw Hat while Gin takes on Zeph.
So
Well, I guess he's saying more as while he takes on Sanji.
okay. So
Yeah.
is this the dialogue where Luffy kind of like shits on Krieg's crew?
Yes. So he says all of them are weak.
Oh, okay. Is that pretty much that's all he says?
I mean, if you want to go into more specifics, I can tell you if he says the same thing.
Yeah. Go ahead and give the full details if you have them.
No, you go ahead because that's all I pretty much wrote down. I might have left out some minor details.
Yeah, it might have been there, but basically, like, so, yeah, I think like Gin says how he's gonna take them on. He says he's gonna take on Sanji and take him down. At which point, like, the Krieg is like, yeah, my chief of command has gone insane or something like that, and that's how it's revealed that like Gin is like the chief command. And I'm not really sure if it's like exposing Gin's title was Luffy's thing, but I think like um I think it was getting Zeph some sort of safety away from that. I think Luffy just says something like, "Okay, now like Zeph's out in the open, or that guy's out in the open," and then Sanji's like, same thing. Sanji calls bullshit on that, and then Luffy just then tells Gin, "Hey, I'm not afraid of the Krieg pirates," and
Mm-hmm.
then all those guys are like in the manga, and I think in the sub, he talks about how like they're just like a weak pirate crew or a bunch of wimps or something. And the Krieg pirates are like, "Hey, we're the best pirate crew, we're the most fierce pirate crew." And then he's like, "Well, you guys aren't really the best or strongest." Like, or he says something that like the only reason you guys are like this like dangerous is because you guys have a lot of guys, and this really pisses off a lot of them. And he says how like they're pretty much all still cowards. The only reason like they're so feared is because of the number of crew members in their pirate crew, and those guys. And then yeah, so that's kind of a little extra. He kind of just says they're weak.
Yeah,
They're weak, and the only reason they're seen as strong is because they have a lot of people in their
but it
crew.
seems like Krieg caused his bluff too, right? And he's telling his men that like don't let him get in your head.
Well, sort of like so.
Yeah.
Basically, like those guys get angry and like
Yeah.
they were about to go charging at Luffy, and Krieg's like, "Hey, shut up! If you go after him and attack him and a horde, you'd basically validate what he just said about you guys being weak."
Mm-hmm.
And yeah,
Yeah. So
and then it's
yeah,
kind of comedic how they react and stuff. That's
yeah,
that's
yeah. I thought it was too. I don't know. I just didn't cover that part.
yeah.
But yeah, I do agree, and I thought that Krieg was very smart with his part saying what he does, and basically says anyways he's going to take him on, and to which point after he says all that, Luffy says Krieg never shuts up. Um, and then he says he's going to take the Straw Hat on while Gin takes on Zeph. Gin begins to wave his baton in a circular motion and lets Sanji know that it's his last chance to flee. Sanji says, "We'll just see." Uh, uh, Gin then comes rushing in, and Sanji dodges his attack with his legs. Gin finally, eventually lands an attack on Sanji and pins him to the ground with one of the batons. Gin says he warned him and he has no chance as he begins to attack with another, but Sanji is able to dodge and kick Gin in the head. As Gin is falling down, he connects his attack and they both are seen laid out on the deck. Krieg calls them all fools, and that he chose Gin because he's strong and that he's actually a Diablo. Um, and then Patty and Carne start talking about how that steel ball must have destroyed Sanji's ribs. Sanji then gets up and says he's not that tough at all. Luffy realizes at that moment that Don Krieg is distracted and rushes in for an attack, while Krieg throws a ball into the water, causing like an explosion, which throws him off, and he's able to shoot him with his gun. But of course, that doesn't do anything. He just deflects it, and Luffy gets back up and asks Krieg if he wants to actually fight. Krieg says he doesn't need to fight when he has the means to destroy him from a distance, and calls him a monkey boy. And then Luffy says, "You better watch out, or this monkey will scratch you." Um, and then Ghin warns Luffy that he'll end up like his friend, as we realize Sanji is now coughing and out of breath on the ground. At that point, Zeph's pirates mention that he's already taken 10 hits from the steel balls. So
Okay.
at this point, I was wondering if there was some censorship, like if there was more attacks that they just didn't show, because it seemed like he gets up before and says he's not that strong, but he's clearly hurt. But I'm wondering
Yeah.
if he did get attacked more, or what happened.
Yeah, so a few things. So yeah, a few things. One is like, no, when Sanji, like, so Luffy kind of notices in the anime, it's like Luffy kind of notices how like he's distracted and like he tries to go after him, and there is like this explosion that happens. But what happens next is that like, so Luffy doesn't block or return the attack back to
Well, he like
back
flings it
to
into
Krieg.
the air or whatever.
So that's kind of weird because like I feel like that might be some weird like censorship editing that they did because in the regular it's like yeah there's that explosion and then like then Krieg shoots like these darts and like darts they still affect Luffy. Like Luffy can bounce back like bullets and cannonballs and stuff, but he can't bounce back like like it's like
Oh
attacking him
yeah.
with this kind of thing.
So,
Um
oh, I did forget to say that yes, he does shoot him with his gun.
yeah.
But then uh y- he does end up attacking him again. Yes, that did happen in mine. He shot him with those darts.
Okay.
But the
And
first attack he did dodge with his gun.
okay. Because yeah, the thing is like I don't know that they showed this in the anime, but like in the manga, there's this one attack that he does prior to the one where he shoots those things where like it's like he shoots this ball and then like it explodes and then I think they call them like shurikens. It's like ninja stars come
Hmm.
out of it and attack him, and like Luffy dodges all of them. And then the next one, it's like those darts. I don't think I remember seeing the ninja blades attacking Luffy in the anime, but yeah, that was
Yeah,
the
there
first.
wasn't in mine either.
Yeah, so I think that was I don't know why they would block that because I mean kids love ninjas,
I don't
so
think they maybe they just thought it was they didn't want to also animate that, or they didn't have, or they might have cut out that scene due to the time.
maybe I mean like this was also in like the official like subbed and everything, so
Yeah,
yeah, I don't know. But yeah, and Sanji, so basically after Luffy kind of dodged all those attacks, he then looks back at Sanji, and then Sanji's like kind of like aching and stuff, and
hmm,
so I think it's just because of all the hits that he's taken so far from Pearl, and then
got
also
it.
with Gin that it's just um, I don't know,
Finally taking a
like
toll
an
on him.
exaggerated form of Dom's, but I think we're just like the attacks caught up to him, where it
Yeah.
kind of hurt and it like stuff started to come open again, or um like wounds just opened, I guess.
Hmm.
But yeah, but yeah, so I don't think there was like a censorship attack. It was just straight up like the attacks caught up to him and it started hurting more. But yeah, go ahead.
Got it. All right, so yeah, then Sanji, is saying in his head, "This is bad," but he's not through yet. As Gin goes in for another attack, to which Sanji dodges with like almost like a cartwheel of sorts, like a handstand, and then he knocks Gin down again. Sanji also falls to the ground too at the same point. Gin then starts to greet. Man, I'm losing my train of thought.
Mhm.
Gin then starts to squeeze the breath out of Sanji. Now, I'm not saying that's what he was doing. I wouldn't have really said that, but the other pirates in the Four Kids anime, actually, the other pirates on Krieg's crew said that he's squeezing the breath out of Sanji, which I thought was
Oh,
pretty violent. Um, and the pirates then expressed that Ghin needs to send Sanji to Davy Jones' locker.
yeah,
Um,
so, click on that. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention, earlier, so when you said that Krieg just says he can just fight him from a distance, he says, he actually in the regular, he just says, killing you would do me enough fine just from here or something like that. He doesn't need to do, close hand-to-hand combat. And then, yeah, I don't know why they said trying to squeeze the breath out of him. Like in the, that feels more violent than, what actually happened, which was that he just grabbed Sanji and like he just kind of grabbed him and held him down. It wasn't like he was choking him or something, but he was kind of spinning his like rod to give him like the final blow.
yeah,
So I do feel like Four Kids was more violent with it.
yeah. Like they didn't even need to have the pirates on the other end try to say that because that's like, I mean, they could have just taken that part out, but no, they made sure that they said, like, in case you're a kid and don't know what he's doing, they made sure to say he's trying to squeeze the breath out of him, which I thought was, pretty violent. Um,
Yeah.
so then Krieg tells Ghin to finish him off, as Ghin tells Krieg not to make him do it to Sanji. Ghin then explains he can't do it and begins to cry, and that he's the one man he can't hurt. Krieg says, "But it was your idea." He then thinks back to when Sanji saved him and fed him all that food, and to brings him back to top form. Ghin says he knows he pretended it like it was Krieg's idea, but he can't lie anymore. He begs Krieg to spare the Barati and that he admires his strength and he's grateful for the promotion, but he just can't kill Sanji. Um, Krieg calls him a fool and that he isn't changed by concerns for friendship or mercy because they are the lowest of all virtues. Um, Krieg then pulls out his shield to fire his ghastly poison gas bomb.
Mm.
Um, and all the pirates cower in fear as it's his greatest weapon. So is
So
that?
this is like an actual poisonous, like lethal bomb that he releases.
Yeah, he pulls out like a shield and it like opens up a thing and they say that it's his ghastly poison gas bomb.
Oh wow, they actually say poison. I'm surprised they didn't like substitute that with like a sleepy gas or something. To
No,
make
they
it
said
more
poison.
poignant. Yeah, because I mean, yeah, it is like a poisonous gas that he basically sends to him. Yeah, Ghin and Krieg have this conversation where Ghin, yeah, straight up says that I can't kill this guy. He fed us. He fed me. He saved me, and he saved all of us, making all those meals and stuff. And he can't do that. And Krieg then just like yells at him, talks about how like not only is he not following Krieg's order, but he's also giving Krieg order or something. So they get into a spat like that. And then, yeah, they go into then Krieg says he's about to throw this like gas bomb at the like this poisonous lethal gas bomb or something. And right before he does that, like uh Ghin throws away his gas mask as like others tried to go grab their gas mask. Like Ghin takes his gas mask and throws it in the water. But right before like the bomb reaches like Luffy and Sanji and everyone at the restaurant, Luffy finds two guys in the water with masks, and he just takes it from them and he tosses it over to Sanji. And like the manga kind of goes a little further into the next episode, but basically, yeah, like he tosses the two things and he realizes that he doesn't have one for himself, and he's kind of panicking. And yeah, I guess like that's where I'll say it because that's where the anime ends. The manga kind of carries on from that, but that's more on next week. So yeah,
Yeah, the same thing for us. Same thing for me. I mean, it happens the same way. So yeah,
yeah,
I didn't seem like they censored much here. I'm sure they're censored some blood or you know defeatedness on the
oh yeah,
characters, but
yeah,
yeah, surprisingly, this is pretty morbid episode. they're going to be killed with poisonous gas, and you know, Sanji was getting the breath pulled out of him.
I'm surprised they didn't think of sleepy gas for you guys. I mean, like
Yeah, I know. It could have been.
like knockout gas, you know?
Yeah, yeah. No, they just said gas.
I mean, to
So
be fair, it's basically knockout gas based on like how many people like don't
yeah,
die in One Piece.
yeah, yeah. I mean, and they can show coughing from Pokemon, so he shoots out gas. So why can't they have a gas bomb? You know, I don't
Yeah,
know.
like just some knockout bomb or something. Um, yeah, it's kind of weird that like yeah they actually went with that direction. But yeah, overall, like yeah, I think yeah, it definitely feels. I think this is probably the most morbid thing that they've done since they actually labeled the last poison gas and stuff. So
Yeah, and it seems to me too like none of the all the guns there are like still really realistic. They're not like adding any like points or anything to it like they were before. Maybe as it went on, they just were like, this isn't that bad. We don't need to really censor it that much.
or they may just have difficulty censoring stuff. They're just like, oh,
Maybe, yeah,
maybe it's one of those things where you said earlier how like when that guy looked at Nami's chest, rather than like her actually like seeing it look more like rapey and stuff within the four kids. Like in the Funimation, it just felt like oh he's just a pervert, but like in four kids, it felt like he was like a rapist.
yeah, yeah. I mean, maybe they just realized, all right, some of these edits we're doing are making it worse. But
Yeah,
then yet they decided to make them say that he's squeezing the breath out.
yeah, that's way worse than what was actually happening, which was just he was just holding him down right as he was about to give his final blow. Yeah,
Yeah, I
I'm
mean, they could have said he's trying to knock him out or whatever. He's trying to make him faint, but no, they had to say he's taking his breath out. Yeah, they're just taking it to an extreme.
yeah. And does like Sanji just take out his lollipop a lot?
No, no, actually you don't. He never takes it out. It's like it honestly in the one flashback, it honestly even looks more like a cigarette.
Okay, okay. Because like yeah, I mean like in this episode I think he takes a few puffs out and like lights his cigarette some and yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I guess that's it for this episode. We'll be back next week with episode 27 from my end, episode 28 from Rom's.
Yep.
We will see you next week. Thanks for listening, everyone.
Thanks.